Awesome. Welcome back to phase number 7, the final phase of the prologue music for Animal Crossing. Hope you guys have really been enjoying this tutorial series. It's been a lot of fun to make, and I'm really excited that we have arrived at phase number 7. This one's a little bit different. There is some strumming kind of happening here, which is pretty funky and a lot of fun to play. The melody part is exactly the same as the previous 2 phases, so if you're looking for a tutorial on how to play the melody section, because this is 2 different guitar parts, the melody section tutorial is in the back half of phase number 5, so go check out that video if you're curious about that. Before we get into everything, I'd like to let you guys know about a few of the links and stuff down below. Feel free to check out my Patreon if you want to give me some support over there. It's much appreciated for making these lessons. I do appreciate you guys checking these out. Anyways, let's get all that stuff out of the way and let's play some phase number 7. So phase 7 is going to be starting out with the A sus chord that we've seen in every single one of these phases, first and second finger. If you don't know this one yet, go back to phase number 1 and that'll kind of refresh everything. Yeah, we're starting with our first and second fingers on the 2nd fret. And for strumming on this one, what we want to do is make sure that we keep like a constant motion in our right hand for the strumming. So we get this really kind of nice skippy feel. So here's kind of like the first section on this first chord here. So the strumming there is down, up, up, down, up, something like that. Down, up, up, down, up. So what you want to make sure you're doing is keeping your right hand moving in that down and up kind of motion, and you're just going to be hitting the strings or passing over the strings. Okay, so one more time, here's what it sounds like for the very first little bit. Also look out for that muting that's happening. So we play, mute after almost every single chord there. You can also check the notation. I've got tab as well as standard notation for download in the description below. Okay, second chord that we're looking at is exactly the same. We don't have to change anything with our left hand. It's the A sus with a low E added. Strumming is identical. Next, we head over to this D7 chord. So for this chord, you're going to keep your second finger exactly where it was. First finger is going to jump over to the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and third finger is going to grab the 2nd fret of the 1st string. So all the notes together with the open D string as well. That's what they sound like individually. With some strumming, something like that. Now for the next bit, we're going to add in our pinky finger, our 4th finger, onto the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Keep the other 2 where they are. So we get a down, up on that. And then we're going to be switching back. First finger is going to go back to where it was on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And our 3rd finger is going to go back to the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Okay. That is the first section of phase 7. Let's look at all of that together. So here we go. Cool. First section done. Heading on to the second section. So we're starting out with that A sus one more time. So we have strum. So it's down, up. Now here what we're going to do is we're going to break up the strumming a little bit and add in a few arpeggiated notes. So we're going to use our index, middle, and ring fingers on our right hand to play the G, B, and E strings, so the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. So we get down, up, like that. And then another down, up. Okay? Going over to the A sus with the E in the bass. Same strumming. Now what we're going to do, get rid of your 1st finger. So we have an open D string. We skip over one of the strum notes here. So if I play just this part with the open D string, so you can hear that we kind of actually missed a strum there. And then for the last chord, back to the A sus again. And then we have a little transition, 5 and 4 on the low 6th string. So all of section number 2 together. So starting with that A sus, with a little arpeggiated bit, over the E, open D string, back to the A sus. So we have the 5, 4, which shifts us into the next section. And you want to do that with your second finger, and first finger as we slide into the next chord, which gets us to the beginning of the third section. So third section, what we want is our first finger on the 2nd fret, 6th string, our second finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and our third finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. All right, so we're going to strum that. And just like we did with the A sus earlier, we're going to arpeggiate those top 3 strings. Something like that. So we get down, up, arpeggiate, down, up. To the next chord, take this exact same shape that you have with these 3 fingers here and lift them all up and move them all over one set of strings. So instead of being on strings 6, 4, and 3, we want them on strings 5, 3, and 2. So again, we strum that. And on the last one, we're actually going to add in our pinky finger on the top, also in the 2nd fret. So for that part, we get down, up, down, up. And it's just on that last down, up. You add in the 4th finger. Then we're going to switch over to this D7 chord. Yeah. So we get down, up, down, up. And then we're going to let go of our 3rd finger and move your 1st finger over to the 1st string, 1st fret. Down, up, and then back to the A sus. Just for one strum, and then we have the other transition, which is open 6th string, hammer on with your 1st finger to the 2nd fret, and then an open 5th string, like that. So that's the third section. Let's try that all together. So after the transition, shifting into this shape here. Awesome. Next part. All right, so here we're going to break away from the strumming a little bit, and we're actually just going to be grabbing some of these chords. So we're starting off with the A sus, but we actually don't need to use our 1st finger, so just the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And you're going to grab the low 6th string and those top 3 strings. So something like this. For the first chunk, and then 4th finger onto the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then back to the A sus with your 1st finger added. Let me do just that first half of this section one more time. Cool. Next, we're going to be using our bar chords here. I am going to be making a tutorial on bar chords. That'll probably be the next video that I put out. So if you're struggling with bar chords at all, look out for the next video. I'm going to have a ton of tips and pointers of how you can practice that and get a whole lot better at bar chords. All right, so next chord we're looking at is going to be a B minor 7 chord. So we have a bar on the 2nd fret. Our 4th finger is going to be playing the 4th fret of the 4th string. And then our 2nd finger is going to be playing the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And the 1st is, again, barring across the 2nd fret. It doesn't need to bar the 6th string, but it needs to bar the top 5 strings. So altogether it should sound like this. Something like that. So we strum through that. Arpeggiate the top, take that shape, shift it up 2 frets, just play the inner 4 strings. So you can either play that with your fingers like this, or you can kind of strum through it with your thumb, or if you're using a pick, that's totally fine. And then shift it up 1 more fret. So that section is something like that. And now we have a really cool part here. This is actually probably the coolest part of phase 7, is this little dynamic build off of this same chord. So you don't need to change anything with your left hand, but what you're going to do is with your right hand, you're going to try and make it so it's quiet, going to louder. So we play that 4 times, going from quiet to loud. And then for the finishing this up, we go back to essentially that A sus sort of shape one more time. But again, you don't need your 1st finger. And we grab those low 6th string and those top 3. And then again, muting at the end. There's a lot of muting in here, so you'll have to listen for that. All right, so that is the entirety of this section. Let's play that all together. And then for the final part, this is going to be very similar to one we saw earlier. Let's just get right into it. So A sus again. So strum through, and then we have an upstroke, so it's down, up, up, down, up, and then with the E included, open D string, with the skip, and then back to the A sus. And then all you need to do to tie it up and get that repeat happening is that transition with the hammer on the low 6th string. So one more time, the final section here before everything repeats. Cool. That is it. That is the last chunk you need, and that is the entirety of phase number 7. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Again, I really do appreciate you guys checking out this series. If you have any other sort of requests, let me know, and I will check them out. Until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you later.